Very good morning, students. Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss the last part of Module 5, that is routing protocol for wireless sensor network. In this routing protocols, it is classified into three types: energy efficient routing protocol, geographic routing protocol, hierarchical networks by clustering. Okay, so energy efficient routing protocol is also called as energy efficient unicast routing protocol, or simply energy efficient unicast. So looking at the diagram, I told many times, or we discussed many times, in the WSN, energy is very important, parameters. Okay, so there are various aspects how energy or power efficiency can be conceived of in a routing context. So the figure shows the example scenario for communication between node A and H, including link energy cost and available battery capacity per node. So we have to see the link energy cost. So this is so I will just tell the cost. Cost is nothing but difference between A and B is cost, this distance, and its capacity of A is this much and capacity of B is this much. So we have to look not only the link energy cost or distance, but also its battery capacity per node. Okay, so here we have to study so many minimum or minimize energy per packet. So how we can minimize? So looking at the diagram, so in the example, the minimum energy route is ABEH. So if you look at ABEH, this one, this is the minimum energy route, because the distance between A and B is 1, the distance between B and E is 1, the distance between E and H is 1, total is 3. So 3 units are there from A to H if you select this ABEH. Looking at the minimum half count route would be ADH. See, this is the minimum half count because only one intermediate node exists between this particular route, but energy cost is 6. So based on your requirement and application, you can go or you can design your routing protocol in such a way that you have to see both the link energy as well as the battery capacity. Right, so again looking at the one more important thing is maximum total available battery capacity. Okay, so choose that here in the second one, maximum total available battery capacity. Choose that route where the sum of available battery capacity is maximized without taking needless detour called slightly incorrectly. Okay, so maximum available power. So here if you take BEGH, so BEGH is BEGS unnecessary, we have to go for G and again come back to H. So that's why the best proper subset is ABH. So if you look at the maximum total available battery, then minimum battery cost routing. So if you take the route ACFH, so in the example, okay, so route ACFH is assigned a cost 1 by 1 plus 1 by 4, which is equal to the 1.25. So here we have to see the how many nodes are there, intermediate nodes, and its reciprocal of the capacity. So here it is battery capacity of C is 1, then battery capacity of F is 4, so that's why 1 by 1, then here it is 1 by 4. So again you add, because 4 nodes are there, so you have to add 1 by 1 plus 1 by 4, you will get the 1.25. Another one is ADH. So only one intermediate node is there, so we can add only 1 by 3. So this one comes 1 by 3. So this is the best route when you consider minimum battery cost routing. So like that we can have so many things to study: minimum maximum battery cost routing, conditional maximum minimum battery capacity routing, and very important is minimum total transmission power routing. So in all these things we have to consider how much power, how much energy is required to send a data from one node to another node. This is very important concept, and again in the exam point of view, many things is asked about this, many things. So if you look at the exam question paper, many times explain energy efficient routing or explain energy efficient unicast routing with a neat diagram. You have to write this, you have to draw this particular diagram, explain all these parameters, how you can reduce the energy in the data communication. Next one is geographic routing. In the geographic routing, we have to, the idea behind the relatively large class of geographic routing protocol is twofold. One is, for many application, it is necessary to address physical location, because we should know where is the location or what is the location, which is the location of source and destination. Then second one is, when the position of source and destination is known, as are the positions of intermediate nodes. So the possible advantage is much simplified routing protocol with significant smaller, even non-existing routing tables, as physical location carries implicit information to which neighbor to forward a packet. So based on the location of the source or based on the location of the nodes, we can take the communication. So here the main thing is, we have to see or we have to discuss position based routing. Again in that we have to see nearest with forward progress, directional routing, the problem of dead ends. Then very important thing related to this geographic routing is right hand rule to recover greedy routing, that is GPSR. This is also asked one time. Explain GPSR. GPSR is nothing but greedy perimeter stateless routing protocol. So GPS protocol, it is forwards as it forwards packet as long as possible using greedy forwarding with the most forward rule. Okay, so because it has to forward to nearest node which is nearer to the destination. GPSR is very important, greedy perimeter stateless routing. So based on the again location of the source and destination, it will keep on forwarding until it reaches to the destination. So this is about the uh, geographic routing. Now coming to the last type of the protocol, that is hierarchical networks by clustering. As we know, clustering is very important things for the wireless sensor network, because it will increase or it will improve the network lifetime, or it will reduce the energy consumptions by making. So then how to define the cluster? What are the members, right? How many numbers we can include in the clusters? Then are there cluster heads for the communication, or are there, how to select the cluster head? There are so many parameters are used to select the cluster head, specifically based on the energy, residual energy, and the distance, and the even sometimes we can go for mobility of that particular node. Yes, so after cluster head selection, because we know there are so many, it is just like a leech. You already studied leech protocol in the schedule based protocol. Leech is a best example for this particular clustering protocol. Then after make cluster overlap, okay, if in the WSN, if two clusters are overlap, who has to cover that particular area, that is overlapping area? Then how do cluster communicate? What is the procedure to make inter-cluster communication, whether it should be through cluster head or it should be some some rule has to make. Then hierarchy of clusters, yes, what is the role of the member node, what is the role of cluster head node, what is the role of gateway, what are the roles of the base station. Then connecting clusters, then rotating cluster heads. Rotating cluster heads are very important, because here if the cluster head is not working properly, then someone has to move from the previous cluster head to the next cluster head. So in that case, it's very difficult to maintain, or it's very difficult to monitor the data communication in the clustering network. Then last one is passive clustering. As we know, usually in the network, what happens, it is also one of the energy consumption concept. one of the most expensive operation in a network is flooding. Flooding is nothing but disseminating a particular piece of operation to all nodes. So flooding is nothing but sending data to all other nodes in the network. So this flooding happens, for example, in routing protocol when routes have to be computed, but it is also occurs when a new data sink announces its interest. So flooding is implemented by every node, repeating every packet that it has received with the exception of already received ones to avoid cycles. So this clustering overhead or this flooding, so to overcome the flooding we go for this passive clustering. So because of the broadcast nature of the wireless channel, retransmission by a minimum dominating set such as cluster head or gateway connecting them would suffice. So the matter discussed above would be very important to overcome the problem of the flooding. Actively sending out here in the passive clustering, what happens, it will actively send out any message for clustering as such as is avoiding. The approach discussed here is that is passive clustering. So it will just send only the message which is needed for the neighbor node. It will not, in this particular passive clustering, it will not send the data to all other nodes which are there in the network. So this is there very important passive clustering. So with this we covered, we completed module 5 also. There are some questions related to module 5. You just go through the questions paper, very important, right? So you will get idea. So we studied especially in the module 5 we covered communication protocol. So in the communication protocol we studied so many types of the communication protocol. Contention based protocol, in the contention based protocol we studied CSMA, then very important CSMA protocol. Then in schedule based protocol we studied Rama, Leech, all are very important. And today we study routing protocol. Apart from this, naming and addressing we studied. So all these are very important concept of the wireless sensor network which are we studied under the module 5. So with this I wish you all the best. Do well, then take seriously you read all the concept of this particular subject. Thank you.